A young man from one of the richest families in America set out on an adventure deep in the jungles of New Guinea. He was curious, fearless, and determined to explore cultures few outsiders had ever seen. But during that journey, something happened that would turn his expedition into one of the most mysterious disappearances in history. Because one day, Michael Rockefeller swam toward shore, and he was never seen again. Who was Michael Rockefeller? Michael Rockefeller wasn't just any traveler. He was the son of Nelson Rockefeller, the governor of New York, and a member of one of the most powerful families in the United States. Born in 1938, Michael grew up surrounded by wealth and opportunity. But unlike many people in his position, Michael wasn't interested in business or politics. He was fascinated by anthropology, the study of human cultures and societies. After graduating from Harvard University, Michael decided he wanted to explore remote parts of the world and learn about tribal cultures firsthand. That passion would eventually lead him to one of the most isolated regions on Earth. In 1961, Michael traveled to what is now Papua New Guinea. The region was home to the Asmat people, a tribal group known for their elaborate carvings and deep cultural traditions. At the time, very few outsiders had ever visited the area. Michael was working with anthropologists and local guides, collecting artwork and documenting the culture of the Asmat people. The journey required traveling through dense jungle and dangerous rivers. But Michael was excited about the experience. He believed he was witnessing a way of life that the outside world barely understood. However, the remote environment also carried serious risks. On November 17, 1961, Michael and a Dutch anthropologist named René Wassing were traveling along the coast in a small wooden canoe. The boat was heavily loaded with supplies and equipment. As they moved across the water, rough waves began to build. Eventually, the canoe became unstable. And then disaster struck. The boat capsized, throwing both men into the water miles from shore. Two local guides who had been traveling with them immediately swam toward land to get help. But Michael and René were left alone in the open water. They clung to the overturned canoe for hours. Time passed, and rescue still hadn't arrived. Michael's decision. After many hours drifting in the ocean, Michael made a decision that would change everything. He believed shore wasn't too far away. To help himself float, he tied 2 empty fuel cans to his waist. Then he turned to René and said something that would later become famous. "I think I can make it." And with those words, Michael Rockefeller slipped into the water and began swimming toward land. René stayed behind with the canoe, hoping help would arrive. But Michael Rockefeller disappeared into the waves, and he was never seen again. The massive search. When news of the accident reached authorities, a massive search operation began. Planes flew over the coastline, boats scanned the rivers and ocean. Hundreds of people joined the search effort. Even Michael's father, Nelson Rockefeller, traveled to New Guinea to help coordinate the effort. For weeks, rescuers searched the jungle, the rivers, and the surrounding coastline. But there was no sign of Michael Rockefeller. No body, no clothing, no equipment. It was as if he had completely vanished. Over the years, many theories have tried to explain what happened. Some investigators believe Michael may have drowned while attempting to swim to shore. The currents in the area were strong, and the distance may have been farther than he realized. But others believe something more mysterious happened. Some reports suggested that Michael may have actually reached land. However, the area was home to tribes that had very little contact with outsiders. And some historians believe he may have encountered members of the Asmat tribe. At the time, certain tribal rituals involved warfare and revenge traditions. Some researchers believe Michael may have been mistaken for an enemy outsider, but there has never been definitive proof. More than 60 years later, the disappearance of Michael Rockefeller remains unsolved. Despite extensive searches and investigations, no evidence has ever confirmed what truly happened to him. Did he drown while swimming toward shore? Did he make it to land but get lost in the jungle? Or did he encounter something far more dangerous waiting on the coast? The truth may be hidden forever in the remote jungles of New Guinea. A young explorer from one of the most powerful families in the world set out on a journey to understand distant cultures. But somewhere between the ocean and the jungle, Michael Rockefeller disappeared. And the world may never know what really happened after he began that final swim.